Hey guys, what's up? It's KOKOStern with Why You Should, and today's subject is research and do it yourself. What I want to take as an example is actually my setup right here is something that I wanted to do, and then I researched, and then part of it I actually did myself. And that's pretty much the Why You Should today. You should do those things. So I just want to show you part of my setup actually. And what I wanted to do is obviously have video. So what do you need to do in order to have proper video? First, a camera, which is I'm using right now. It's the Logitech C920, which is one of the really great webcams out there. It's not exactly cheap, but it's not really costly, and it can do 1080p, really great quality, so it's pretty damn good. Thing is that about 90% of video is lighting. The camera itself doesn't really matter that much. Even a crappy camera can take pretty good shots if you have good lighting. So I knew nothing about lighting, and luckily I have a friend that is a professional photographer, so he knows lighting. And I asked him around what the hell to do, and he pretty much explained it to me. He explained that generally speaking I need 3-point lighting, which is the basic of any lighting setup. Obviously there's professionals that really know what they're doing. I'm just taking the basics of it. And even though he pretty much explained it to me, I went online and researched the subject and to understand what I actually need to do. And when I say researched, I actually went online and looked up all kinds of different strings, read up a lot of articles, saw a lot of videos that explain what do you need to do in order to have video. What is 3-point lighting? How to do it cheaply, and what do you need exactly? And I ended up pretty much needing obviously 3 lights, and also a couple of soft boxes, and then the proper setup in terms of where they stand. So let's talk just a little bit about this. What you have in 3-point lighting, the basics of the basics, is a key light, which is on your face from a 25 degree angle on my face, and then a fill light, which is a little bit weaker. It's basically the same light, but it's weaker. That is the fill light from 45 degree angles from the other side. So I have diagonally the key light and then the fill light. And then, because it fills out the shadows that you get from the key light, and then not a kicker, it's not called a kicker, it's called, I can't remember what it's called, probably not a kicker, but then an additional light from the back that fills out the room and shows that I have hair and not just black mass and stuff like that. So that's the basic of 3-point lighting. So my first light is actually my, that I'm going to show you right now, is the fill light. And as you can see, it is a crappy student, obviously it's very, very bright if you look at it directly, and it's a crappy student base. It's a student light type it's just called student light because it's crappy things that you have on your desk. So it's the student base. And then the light bulb, as you can see, is a lot bigger than the actual house for it, because it's a different light bulb. It's not the standard stuff that you should use with these things. It's a much bigger one that gives out a lot more light, according to what my professional photographer friend told me that I need to get. So that one isn't actually straight on my face. What I do with that, instead of having it diluted normally, I just point it at the wall. And then what's reflected back at me is a lot weaker, and so it does the proper job of doing the fill light. My main light, my key light, had to be diluted some way, and the way that you do this is using a softbox. A softbox is exactly as it sounds. It's a box that you put on your light that softens the light. And I could buy one for a lot of money, or I could make one. So I made one, and it's really, really simple to make. It's basically just cardboard that I cut up, put it around the light, and remember, it's exactly the same base that I just showed you, and then had aluminum foil on the inside because it's reflective, and at the end of it, I just put, I needed something to dilute the light, and apparently baking paper works really well. It's the stuff that when you put something in the oven, you put baking paper, right? And then you put it on it, and then you put it in the oven. So that is what I'm actually using here. And I want to take it down and actually show you. My table is an L shape, so I have just a shelf above the entire, so I can just reach out and grab things that are here. So it's just on top of it, and I'm gonna just grab it here Don't break. Don't explode. Also, I don't clean dust. I'm a disgusting, disgusting man, so I don't clean dust, so it's dusty, and we're gonna see dust mites jump out. But this is basically it. Yes, this is basically it. As you can see, it's the same crappy base that I have for my student. It's the same student light crappy base with a ton of duct tape, and the actual freaking, it's just cardboard, and on the inside, you can't actually see the inside, obviously, because it's very, very bright. But it just dissipates and dilutes the light and softens it, and it's really big. Okay, that's a lot. And as you can see now, I look like I'm in shadows because this isn't on my face. So that's actually the light that I use to just put it on my face. It's the same exact bulb as the one for my... Okay, just back a bit. Okay, so it's the same exact thing as I have with my fill light. It's the same exact setup, but there's a softbox on it, and it dilutes my light prettily on my face. And I made that. I just made that. It costs nothing. It costs a little bit of aluminum foil, a little bit of baking paper, and just cardboard that I luckily had in the basement. So that's it. And cardboard is really, really easy to get. So, and the rest of the things you have in your kitchen. Unless you don't have a kitchen, you should have it in your kitchen, pretty much. It's basic stuff. And I just made it. It took about an hour and a half because or 2 hours or so, because I started it out and it was too small. So I had to do it again, and also I checked the proportions with some, it was like, I'm using math that I learned in school. It's like, holy crap, and trigonometry. I actually used trigonometry. Seriously, but you don't really have to do that. You can just go out of basic stuff, and it pretty much works. A little bit of trial and error maybe. But you just make trapezoids, and you make 4 of them, you get them close, and then you just duct tape everything like you just saw. And I researched it, and I made it myself. And I researched a lot. I went through all the things that I did with 3-point lighting. I then went on how to do it yourself, how to build a softbox, and I read a couple of articles. Obviously there was a ton of crap, but there was also some really good stuff. I watched a couple of videos, and eventually I just said, screw it, let's just do it. And that's what I use today, and that's how you get to see my beautiful, beautiful face in proper lighting. And that's something that's really, really important to research and do it yourself if you can. The research part is so, so important when you're buying something or you want to do something. And I'm going to give you another example. I actually have a Facebook group of gamer friends and gamer people for my country, so it's in our language and stuff like that. And when someone wants to buy a laptop, in most cases, they ask around, so, hey guys, do you know anything about laptops? And we do have a couple of people, one of them is my close friend, that knows laptops really, really well. He has done all the research many, many times, so he knows his material very, very well. And one person didn't actually do it. One person, I just purchased this, and I forgot to ask you, what do you think? And the computer that he bought is pretty much not a good computer. It's pretty bad in specific areas, and it was just a stupid mistake that guy made just to buy it and then ask your friends. And that's just asking your friends, but just research online. It's so easy to do these days, to research something online. There's, for 99% of the basic stuff that you want to do, there are 15 million guides out there. You can check me on that number. 15 million guides on how to do something and how to do something yourself. Instead of buying a softbox that could cost a lot of money, I built this for next to nothing. And that's just, and it works, right? It works. You can see my face properly. Okay? It might not be the best sight in the world, but you can see it, and that's the important part. So that's it for today. Why you should research and then do it yourself if you can before you do anything. Anything. Okay? Good. Thank you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Laters.